with a quick video. It's gonna be a video of a mixed guy. And shout out to him because he watches my content and he commented on my post as well, my YouTube video as well. So shout out to him. And he was chopping it up with this guy named Angry Biracial. And shout out to Angry Biracial. And basically they were just talking about. I guess they had an issue with the fact that he said that he's not interested. He doesn't find extremely the negroid phenotype physically attractive, and they pretty much gave him a hard time. And I don't know the context of how he was saying it. If he was being derogatory or trying to be vexing, I don't really know because I didn't really hear him say it. Um, but I don't really have an issue with him saying that. And let's get into this video.
Kind of stay themselves. Black people are the only ones who want to go integrate with other groups, and the men want to be with other races of women.
Well, because black men do have a lot of.
When I mean black men, I'm not talking about AAs.
I'm gonna be reacting to this live stream. I'm gonna drop several videos, bits and pieces, because it's a long live stream and it's a lot of points I want to talk about.
They're just the poster child of it. Most black men I've met prefer things that don't look like themselves. It's just African Americans are just the most extreme and out there compared to other black men.
To tell me how.
So they want to date outside their race. They'll complain about how their women act or all these things. So basically like how their women act, but get with another monoracial woman who does the same thing, but act like they're not doing the same thing.
I agree. That is true with black men who are dark complected specifically. That is a real thing. Not all, but the vast majority of them. They do that amongst black women too. Amongst women of color, I should say, not black women. With light skinned women and dark skinned women, they'll say that they like light skinned women because they're more feminine. But if you actually look at these light skinned so called black girls, they're horrendous. They act just like the dark skinned girls act. Alright, same thing with non black women. They say that non-black women are more feminine, but they go get with the same, type of basically a white girl who's trying to emulate a degenerate black woman. So that is true. So a lot of these black men are just generally they're not attracted to their own group, their own reflection. All right. So he is telling the truth about that. Is that all? No, it's not. But he is onto something with that. All right, which could be a sign of self-hatred, which it is pretty much. And how you know that a lot of black men are just saying that just because they're not attracted to them is because it's not like they're marrying these women who they claim to be more feminine. They're not. All right. The vast majority of white women and even light-skinned black women who get with these men, they're not married to these men. They're not. They're baby moms. All right.
I actually I agree with you on that point, but again, for me, like it's hard for me to comprehend a fellow mixed person not liking when other races get together, because like again,
I'm not against it. I'm just pointing out that it doesn't make sense that their preference is something that it's anything that doesn't look like themselves.
Okay,
I get what he's saying. And what he's saying is he's not against interracial marriage. He's just saying it's probably a little odd when the vast majority of your men and people have that mindset of they're going to avoid their own group of women because they're not attracted to them and go date other groups. He's not saying that he's against interracial marriages. No. All right. He's saying that when like 90% of your group thinks that way, you guys do have somewhat of a mental disorder. You should be getting with people who interracially because that's what you did just because. You shouldn't be trying to purposefully do that to trying to get with somebody who doesn't look like you. All right. And I think that's where the brother's coming from.
And you think
I didn't say they can't. It just sounds out there that their preference is that. I've never heard that from any other ethnic group. Right. White men date out, but they don't go out their way to say their preference is anything that doesn't look like an Anglo-Saxon white woman.
That's a valid point. All right. When white men date Asian women, they don't diss white women. They just run through a bunch of Asian girls and then go back to white women or can't have them both at the same time. Or they don't purposely exclude their own group of women or say that their own group of women are unattractive to them. All right, that's what he's trying to say here. That he's not against it, but and that's not the vast majority of white men either. The vast majority of white men are probably not even thinking about Asian women, but it's like a huge chunk of them who are. But when it comes to black men, the vast majority of black men are thinking about non-dark skinned women. It's just a fact. I mean, let's be real. Which is not something that's really normal with other groups.
Yeah, I agree on that. But again, that's not really all black men, right? That's only a loud minority of black men that do and say that, because the vast majority of black men are married to black women.
Are they married because they don't have the ability to get a white woman? Because if they have the free, whenever they have the money, they always somehow end up dating out. Whenever they have the ability to do it, then they choose to go out.
I mean, again, that's the minority of black women. There are a lot of famous black actors and celebrities that marry and only stay with black women. I understand what you're saying.
And I think that we need to break this thing up, and we need to make it about skin color and phenotype. He's talking about dark-skinned women, extremely negroid women. I think is what he's talking about. The vast majority of black men are not really married, and they're married, but I get what he's saying. He's saying that when these black men, though, even though they're married to these women, they don't generally find them attractive. A lot of them will even tell you that. All right, so they're not there necessarily because, even though it's a little bit of a minority, they still don't find those women generally attractive, and they will try to avoid them. That is a real thing. All right, and when they do come up a little bit, they do make a run for the hills. All right, they do because that's not who they generally want. It's just what it is.
Because I talk about some of the stuff, some of the same stuff, but it's like you're coming from a point that you just don't like black features, that you don't like nothing sub-Saharan African, and that's where it gets kind of. That's where I'm having an issue, because it's good to talk about some of the stuff that some men in the community do. It's good to talk about, some things that people in other communities do. But to say that you don't like sub-Saharan African features or you don't like sub-Saharan men, or you're against sub-Saharan men dating out, that's problematic, brother.
I don't see nothing wrong with what he's saying, to be honest with you. He's saying that he doesn't like an extremely negroid phenotype. This man doesn't have an extreme negroid phenotype. He has I guess you could say, he has mulatto features. All right, even though earlier in the stream, because I was watching, they kind of gaslight him. This mulatto chick, she was trying to gaslight him, which I'm going to do a reaction about them, and this, I'm going to break it up, but she was trying to say that he looks black, like a black man, and no. But still, he was saying that he wasn't attracted to negroid features, and this man is not extremely negroid himself. So it's actually natural for him not to prefer that type of women. All right, black women say this all the time to light-skinned men, that they're not attracted. Allegedly, they're not attracted to mulatto men's phenotype because whatever reason, they look too handsome, or they look girly to them, or whatever the hell they try to say. But the difference is that mulatto men don't go out of their way to attack black women for their phenotype. They don't cyberbully them on Facebook like dark-skinned men do, and like other groups of men do. But black women go out of their way to attack mulatto men and try to vex them and harass them unprovoked. That's the difference. So I don't really have any sympathy for a lot of black women when it comes to this specifically, because they dish out the same energy that they claim black men do to them. They talk about how black men don't like them and are always talking bad about their facial features, but they turn around and try to persecute a light-skinned guy for having a different phenotype. All right, because me personally, I don't really see black men. They may throw some little joke here and there, but I don't really see dark-skinned men harassing light-skinned dudes. I see that mostly coming from black women. I'm just be real. and people just follow behind the black woman and the trend that she just created for that.
Well, everything I state can be. I can't stop them, so it really doesn't matter.
People gonna be who they want to be with. That's a fact.
Okay. So,
like,
let me ask you a question, brother. I wasn't clear on what you were.
Oh, can I just ask this quick question?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, so nobody shames black women when they say they don't want to date light-skinned black men. We all just get over it and get on with our day. So why can't they do that? Why can't they do that? And I said that.
And I agree. And not only are they saying that, but they're going out of their way to persecute and publicly humiliate and make racist and derogatory comments to light-skinned men and mulatto men. That's why I said he made a valid point. All right, he's saying the same thing that they say, but since he's saying it, and I guess he's a male, it's a problem. And shout out to Angry Biracial. I don't want him to shout out to all these guys, but y'all gotta understand that like some people, you know, their audience is catered to a certain group, so they are going to try to like brand build. So they don't want to go against a group who's mostly their fan base. So this is what you call brand building. But I agree with this brother here. Like I said, black women dish it. They should be able to take it, especially from light-skinned guys. And I don't think he's saying this to humiliate them. I just think it's probably just his genuine opinion.
Well, where are black women saying they don't want to date light-skinned black men?
I'm not saying all, but the ones who prefer not to date light-skinned black men or mixed men, most of us just get on with our day and don't complain about it.
Because they have a preference. Everyone has a preference. But
right, just like the brother saying right here, he has a preference for non-dark-skinned women. So, like, this is a pointless argument. All right? And now, on top of that, black women just don't have a preference. Black women go out of the way to harass light-skinned men. That's the difference. Light-skinned men are not harassing black women. They're not trying to shame black women to dating them. They're not trying to shame them and to not like them either. Like, light-skinned men are just minding their business, living their personal lives, and black women are attacking these men, at least on social media, and creating trends to marginalize them. So, why come we don't never call that out, but we can call out just because a light-skinned brother said that he didn't like Negroid features? Like, what's really the issue? Like, who cared? Like,
they're not saying, oh, I don't want to date mixed men because I think mixed men have features, you know, that I don't like mixed men's pointy noses. I don't like.
Yes, they are saying that, brother. Yes, they are. They literally are on there talking about how they don't want to date light-skinned guys because of the way that they look, and they associate it with something derogatory, and they do it on purpose. Whether it's for a reaction or to get somebody else to pay them attention to try to impress them or whatever they do it for, but they are doing that. All right, not only that, they're going away to attack mixed men and mixed boys. They've been doing it for decades, and nobody has never called it out before for whatever reason. I don't know what for, but black women are doing that. All right, so it's kind of hard for me to feel any sympathy for them because, and I'm not saying it's all black women because it's not, but like I said earlier, like the black women who disagree with that, they should, you know, check their own group. But it's kind of hard for me to have sympathy for them. All right, and he has a right to what he likes.
Mixed men's lights.
Yeah, that's right there. They don't like the men that lie to themselves.
But I'm saying no one is saying that. I'm saying, from my experience, because I can't speak for black women, but from my experience, a lot of black women want black families. They want black children. They want black men, and
so that means not you.
A lot of us.
Yeah, they want black men with darker. They want black children, dark-skinned women especially. They claim they want dark-skinned children with dark-skinned men, which is fine. Nobody complains about that. Light-skinned dudes don't get in their feelings about that. Just like this guy, he doesn't want a dark-skinned woman. He's not attracted to their phenotype. He probably wants a mixed woman like him. Why is it an issue when he's saying it? Is where he's coming from.
Mixed race men, we are not black men.
Okay.
Exactly. So why would you look for him to uplift that phenotype if he's not a black man? He's a mulatto man. He's a mulatto brother. He's a brother, but he's not the black man. It's up to black men who are dark complected to lift up extremely negroid females, not him. So I don't understand like why they're trying to make him feel bad for saying he doesn't like extremely negroid features.
So isn't that the same thing? If they want black families, they don't have a preference for mixed men. How is that any different? The only difference is I was more direct about what I was not attracted to.
I agree.
The difference saying is that you hate features. You hate African features. You hate.
Yeah, but he doesn't have extremely negroid features, so it's okay for him. It's natural for him not to be attracted to that. Like for me, for example, I have mixed parents, but I come from a different dynamic from you guys. I'm one of these mixed mulatto guys, kind of mulatto guys, who comes from a line of mixed people. Like I come from mulatto parents, mulatto grandparents, and we like I'm kind of similar to Chris Brown. If you actually do your research on Chris Brown comes from a lineage of light skinned Negroes or mulattoes. But the difference is that Chris Brown's mother got with a black guy and got pregnant and had him. But that's not like that with me. I have another kind of partially mixed father as well. But we come from a line, just like Chris Brown, he comes from a line of mixed people. I know most mulattoes don't come from that dynamic. They usually come from, I got a white parent and a black parent, or something like that. Or just regular light-skinned Negroes in general. They usually have a dark-skinned father or mother and a light-skinned mother or father. It's never just the two. So I come from a rare dynamic. So if I say I don't like extremely Negroid features, that should be considered normal because I don't come from extremely Negroid family. And I'm not used to looking at that. And I feel like that's something that's natural. Like you shouldn't be shamed for saying that. But
big noses and big lips and stuff like that. That's something that a white supremacist would say, brother. And so that's.
I mean, so what? I mean, he's not a white man though. He's not a white man. Saying that you don't like light skinned people and you beat up light skinned dudes like Kwame Brown said. That sounds like a mulatto supremacist. I mean, a black supremacist. So like, who cares? Like, it's just what it is. All right, everybody, they're trying to force people into feel sorry or to pander to darker skinned black people. And it's like, come on.
The difference. No, are you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm not attracted to them, so.
Right.
Well, I grew up under them, so it's not like I was brainwashed. I grew up under a black family. I'm not attracted to them. Yeah, I'm not attracted to those type of those features. I don't know what else to say about that.
So, are you? Did you have like a bad experience?
Oh, it didn't matter the experience. I just didn't like those features as a kid, whether I had a good experience or bad experience. I had a bad experience, but it still has no impact. I still didn't like those features, even when I was a little kid.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out why. I mean, like, again, you have the right to your preference and believe what you want to believe, but it seems like you are hating on half of who you are.
I don't get that. I don't think that's hating on half of who he is because, like I said, I don't know what he prefers. But if I had to make a guess, it's probably women like him. So, I mean, it's funny because they don't use this logic with black men. Black men they're literally hating on them when they say they don't like extremely Negroid features. So I don't understand why he's trying to force him to like darker women. But I'm gonna make a part 2.